Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ask Jameen. I am Nikki Willis, and
I'm Jameen Willis.
and today's question is, what if I can't pay my mortgage? Now, before we get into the episode, we, the Willis team, just want to tell everyone that we are praying with and for you. Our hearts are with those who are being affected. Our hearts and prayers go out to those who are on the front line and to those who are still serving and those who are in the hospitals and those who are recovering. So we know that this quarantine has been going on for quite some time. We feel your pain, but we will get through this together. Okay, so babe, this can be a very sensitive subject, a very embarrassing subject for some as well, but there are so many people being affected by COVID-19 that we needed to address this. And I know that, the federal government has, put out or issued statements about, loans and mortgages and rent and things like that, but it can kind of get confusing, right? So that is the big question that we have for you. What if I can't pay my mortgage?
Yep. So if you are struggling paying your mortgage right now, or you're concerned about what if you can't pay your mortgage in the future, I kind of wanted to give some options and some things that you can do. This isn't the time to panic and do something in a haste. And it's proactive things that you can do. And if it's not the time for it, it's, at least you know what to do in the future if you should have to take advantage of these options and things that you can do. What I wanted to do is kind of a lot of information today. I just kind of wanted to go over the options if you can't pay your mortgage right now, or if you are concerned about not being able to pay your mortgage in the future. Like we said before, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't 100% know what's going to happen. But like in the case of 2008, 2009, it just caught a lot of us off guard to where we didn't know what to do. We didn't have enough time to prepare. We didn't have enough time to adjust. And so it affected a lot of people. It affected a lot of us. It had a negative effect on us. So, this time around, if we have a big change in the real estate market, if we have a big change in the economy, we wanted to provide solutions and options for people and things that they can do for their particular situation. So the biggest thing going on right now is the mortgage forbearance. So the governor of Nevada, all the governors in the different states have basically said that there's, mortgage companies and service companies aren't foreclosing on people right now, no evictions.
Not turning off lights.
Not turning off lights. Which is good. But we want to give you details specifically for homeowners because the whole forbearance thing can be confusing. So a lot of people think that, okay, but there's a forbearance going on. I don't have to pay my mortgage for 3 months or 6 months, whatever the mortgage company says. But there are different layers and different options to that. So I wanted to go over the whole forbearance thing and the different options and what you should ask for and what you should request that your mortgage company do for you. So basically a forbearance is a time period where you aren't required to make payments. The minimum that I've seen so far is 3 months, and I've seen particular mortgage companies, some particular states, it being all the way up to 6 months, where people don't have to make a payment. So a forbearance is a time period where you aren't required to pay your mortgage, but there's 3 different options to that. So the first one is, let's say your mortgage payment is $1,000 per month, and you do a forbearance. But if you just say I need a forbearance and you don't specify anything else, after that period is over, they say, okay, yeah, we'll give you a 3 months forbearance. After that 3-month period is over, you now owe $3,000. So you didn't
kind
have
of
to,
like a balloon.
yeah, so you didn't have to
Okay.
make your mortgage payment of $1,000 for 3 months. But after that period is over, then you owe that amount.
Okay. Wow.
Now, if you can do that, because after 3 months, after the what do we call it? The pandemic and the quarantine is over, and you're back to work, and you can pay that balance, or it gives you enough time to catch up.
Yeah.
Cool. But if you can't pay $1,000 and in 3 months you have to pay $4,000, that may be a challenge.
Yeah.
So you want to contact your mortgage company and request a forbearance. So that's the first option.
Okay.
I think that's the biggest thing that you want to look out for, because a lot of people aren't aware, or they don't know. If you just say I need a forbearance, that's the default thing that they're going to give people to do.
Okay.
The second thing that you can do is you can request that the forbearance amount be spread out over a predetermined time period. So for example, again, $1,000 per month is your mortgage payment, and your forbearance amount is $3,000 because it was 3 months. They take that and spread it over, let's say, 12 months.
Okay.
So 12 months, so $1,000 payment is what you're normally paying, and then you add the forbearance amount and spread that over 12 months. So your payment goes from being $1,000 per month to $1,250 per month.
Okay.
And so for some people, if you are already struggling paying your mortgage, or your budget is tight, that may not be affordable for you. So that's something that you kind of want to consider and see if that's something that you can do.
Okay.
The third option is the forbearance amount, or the amount that you're behind, can be placed at the end of your loan.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example with that. I'll just keep the numbers the same. $1,000 mortgage payment. Let's say they gave you a forbearance for 3 months, and you have, let's say that you just closed on the house, just to make it real simple. You just closed on the house last month. So you still have a 30-year mortgage.
Yeah.
So you'll, instead of having a 30-year mortgage, you'll have a 30-year and 3 months.
Okay.
Mortgage.
Yeah.
So they'll put it on the end of the loan. So 30 years down the road, it's not really affecting you. Right now, it just extends the time period that you have a mortgage.
Okay.
In my opinion, that's the best option, because it doesn't make you have a lump sum payment due when that forbearance period is over, and it doesn't increase your monthly payment when you're already having problems. That's the whole thing of loans and debt and things like that. If you can't pay the amount that you need, how can you pay the amount that you need plus interest?
Yeah.
So the best option is to request that your mortgage company put the forbearance amount at the end of the loan.
Okay.
That way you don't have a higher mortgage payment, and you don't have to come up with a lump sum payment when that 3 months or 6 months period is over.
Okay.
So that's what the forbearance is. When you're listening to this podcast, starting next week, we're going to offer help for people who need help contacting their mortgage company and negotiating this forbearance and what's the best option for them. But that's how the whole forbearance works out. So if you're affected right now, what you can do right now is the whole forbearance thing. The second thing that I want to go over is if you can't pay your mortgage, another thing that you can do is consider selling your house. Consider putting your house on the market and go ahead and selling your house. So this is not something that I'm telling you to do because, oh my gosh, it's about to be doom and gloom and everything's about to be bad.
This is not panic,
or,
right?
Hey, we're realtors, we can get you to list your house. For some people, go ahead and selling your house may be the best option, and here's why. The first reason is if you have equity in your house and you lost your job, or you had to close, your small business owner, you had to close your business. If you have equity in your house, and if you can sell your house and have a nice cushion or a savings while all these things are going on, in your particular situation in this economy, it can provide you with savings, so you will have a cushion that you can live off of. You can pay off debt, and things like that. So another thing that you might want to do if you're having trouble paying your mortgage is consider selling your home, especially if you have equity in your home, because you can take that money and use that to, basically tide you over, and so you can figure things out. The second thing that you can do is you can sell your home because you might have needed to downsize anyway. You have a 5-bedroom home because you have 4 kids and they're all gone, but you just didn't sell your house because the market was good and things like that and appreciation. You can downsize to a smaller house and have a lower payment. So if you're having trouble making your mortgage payments, you're not really needing a big, huge house anymore. Now might be the perfect time for you to downsize, even if you're not affected right now. Just lower your mortgage payments to tighten things up, to provide more expendable income on a monthly basis. Is to downsize to something smaller. Another thing you can do is you can sell your house and rent. You don't have to do maintenance. You don't have to handle repairs. And you also may be able to lower your payment. Also, if you sell your house and rent a condo, or rent a house. So that option 2 is to consider selling your house. That is, you have to look at your particular situation and see if that's the best thing for you. And so the other options I want to go over are, so you don't have to sell your house, or you really don't, if at all possible, you don't have to sell your house. If at all possible you don't want to sell your house, I don't want people to think that that's the only option that they have, is to sell their house. Another option, and this is what a lot of people here in Las Vegas took advantage of here, is when we had the real estate market crash in 2008, is a lot of people, instead of doing a short sale, instead of selling their house, and instead of getting foreclosed on, is they opted to rent their house out. So another option that you can do is you can rent your house out. So let me kind of go over the reasons why you would do that and some of the pros of renting your house out. So one of the reasons is you can rent your house out is you can rent your house out and you can return to your house. So if things are bad for you right now, things go up and down in our individual lives. Things go up and down in our economy, and things go up and down in the real estate market. So you can rent your property out, and if you rent it out, you may be not in your house right now, but you can return to your house when your particular situation improves, or the numbers work out, the real estate market changes, so you can rent your house out for a certain time period, but you can return to your house if you don't sell it, because you may need to rent it out for a year or 2 years, but you can return to that house when the situation changes. So that's actually a great option, instead of just selling your house because you can't pay a mortgage for 1 month or even several months.
Right, and that's an interesting option as well, because like you said, right now these forbearances are going 3, maybe 6 months. And if you're still in that vulnerable time period where you're not able to being able to rent your house out, after these forbearances are over, credit begins to be affected. So renting your house out would be a really good option so that it wouldn't hurt your credit.
Yep, and that's just another thing too, is the whole credit thing, is that you don't take the hits to where you're trying to figure stuff out, and while you're trying to figure stuff out, you're getting 30-day late payments on your credit. You're affecting your credit and your credit history with the mortgage company, versus if you rent your house out, you aren't taking those hits with your credit. So that's a very good point. it provides a shelter
Mm-hmm.
so you don't affect your credit in a negative way. So
Yeah.
you may not be able to pay your mortgage, but that tenant can.
Yes, very
you know,
true.
so
Very true.
yeah, so and a lot of times not only pay the mortgage, but above and beyond. So you may go from a situation to where you may not be able to pay your mortgage, but and you rent it out, you get that mortgage cover, and you get several $100s, or
Yeah,
depending on your market,
rental income.
income to help you pay for your living expenses or additional income, wherever else that you choose to go.
Mm-hmm.
So renting your house out, it also provides you're able to ride these rough times out, and I've seen that here, when we moved to Las Vegas last year, I did research and I looked at people who sold their home, and I looked at the disparities in the prices, and it was like people, doubled their equity from 2009 up until 2020. So
Yes.
if you rent the property out, you ride the rough times out, because like I said, now that we've been in this business for a long time, we see the waves and the cycles, and when it's bad you think, oh, doom and gloom, but it's going to go back
will return.
up.
Yes,
Yeah, so you can rent your property out. So even if the market just collapses like it did in 2008 and 2009, and it'll cause you to be upside down, but eventually it's going to go back up and you're going to be right side up. So so even like last week I was looking at the statistics of like 62% of homeowners were underwater in Las Vegas back in 2009.
62%.
Yeah. And so now it's like, less than 5% or 6% right now.
Yeah.
So renting your house out, you ride the rough times out, you let the market correct itself, you let your equity in your home go back out, and you back in a good place instead of selling your property, and you're able to let the market kind of correct itself, so it gives you time to ride the rough times out.
That's good.
Yeah. So the last option is you're having problems paying your mortgage. You can't pay your mortgage. You may still have good credit and things like that. Another thing that you can do, and this is also a preventative measure.
Okay.
Haven't been affected right now, but you may in the future, you may in the near future. Another thing is you want to consider refinancing your property.
Okay.
So if you have a 30-year mortgage, consider refinancing to a 15-year mortgage.
Okay.
So here's why. When you're in debt for 30 years, you go from being in debt for 30 years to being in debt for 15 years. With a 15-year mortgage, every payment that you're making, you're paying more towards the principal. So you're paying the house off more every month. So not only are you shortening the time period that you have a mortgage, every month you're paying more towards the principal. Another reason that you want to consider a refinancing is to lower the rate. So you pay a lower interest rate. So in more times than not, it lowers your monthly payment.
Yes.
And with a 15-year mortgage, they normally give you a lower interest rate than a 30-year mortgage.
Okay.
So you're paying less interest, and it typically lowers your mortgage payment period. Okay. So look at doing a 15-year. If you're refinancing, look at doing a 15-year. The numbers may not work. It may make the payment go up higher because you're spreading, that dollar amount over 15 years versus 30.
Yeah.
That's why they give you a lower interest rate. But sometimes you can afford it, and that's the best option. Sometimes the numbers just don't work out. But if you refinance, you want to refinance to lower interest. That's the biggest reason to refinance. Not too many people have adjustable rate mortgages anymore. That's like pre-2008, 2009, unless it's like a investment property or something commercial or something like that. But refinance to get a lower interest rate, and a lower interest rate equals a lower mortgage payment. And then refinancing from a 30-year to a 15-year allows you to pay more to principal.
Yeah.
Paying off debt more often. So I know that was a lot of information.
That is.
But
this is good. So let me just go over all these again.
Yep.
So if you can't pay your mortgage right now, you have options. So
You do
that's
have
what we
options,
we
yeah.
want to communicate first. You've got options. The first option is a forbearance. Within those options, we know that banks kind of have three options floating around, and we want you to be educated in knowing what your options are and what you can talk to your bank about. So the first one is kind of that balloon payment where they will give you that forbearance, but at the end of that forbearance, the total amount is due.
Right.
Number two is where they take that forbearance and they spread it across a certain period of time, making your payments a little higher.
Yep.
Number three, which is the one that you recommend, is taking that forbearance and putting it at the end of the loan. So, like you said, if it's a 30-year mortgage, then it's 30 years plus whatever the forbearance time was. So it might be 30 years plus 3 months or 6 months.
Exactly.
The second option is possibly consider selling your home. And because if there's equity in it, you can kind of use that as a savings and as a cushion in this crazy time we have. We kind of don't know what's to come day by day. So having that is an option. Number three, you said to rent the property out. So if you can't sell, turning your property into an income property, it saves you from being foreclosed on and with the credit issue, and it also gives you the time to ride the rough ways.
Right.
Okay. And then lastly, you can refinance. An option could be to refinance to maybe a shorter 15-year mortgage with a lower interest rate. And with those payments, you're paying more on your principal.
Yeah. And so also with the refinancing, now is a good time to consider doing that now because the rates are still very low right now. So if they raise rates because changes happen with lending or if the economy does take a big shift, rates may change.
I see.
So that's why refinancing now is a option that you want to look at now because rates are low right now.
Good. That's so good. Okay, so you've heard it straight from Jameen. That's why this is Ask Jameen. That's why, babe, you've been in this business for over 21 years. And if you need help, if you're in the Las Vegas area and you need help, or just kind of want to talk through your options a little bit more, you can reach us at thewillisteamlv.com. You can also email us at thewillisteamlv@gmail.com. Well, this has been another episode of Ask Jameen. Again, I'm Nikki Willis, and
I'm Jameen Willis.
And we will see you guys soon. Again, hearts and prayers are with you all. And if you need help or assistance, just go ahead and send us an email at thewillisteamlv@gmail.com. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.